Hello! Welcome to the Knit Song Podcast. My name is Audrey, and this is my podcast about knitting, crochet, sewing, yarn dyeing, and whatever crafty endeavors I might be up to from time to time. So welcome! This is episode 21, and I'm excited to be back. There's been a little bit of a pause between the last episode and this one, and I'll explain kind of why in the news segment. But yes, I'm so happy to be back. So contact information is normally what I share first. If you are interested in finding me on Instagram, I knit a little song. On Ravelry, I am katknitss, and my website is knitsong.com. And on Etsy, I am KnitSongYarns. So if that's all a bit of a mouthful, there is a link in the description box to my website, which has all of that information, and I will also place it in the description box below. So that is where you can find me, and those are the places that I show up. I'm most active on Instagram, and I'm getting more active on Ravelry. I'm working on updating all my stuff. But yes, that's me. That's where you can find me. And I will start today's episode with a little what's been happening lately news segment. So lots has been going on in the crafty part of my life, as well as just all the other parts of my life. So there's been a pause in between episodes here because right after episode 20, I got sick, as tends to happen in October for teachers. But the bummer was that when I got sick, I mostly lost my voice. So even as I was getting better, I couldn't quite sound nice and normal on a podcast. And so then the week after that, I started to get better. And then midweek I was doing good. And then I got sick with something else. And that time I pretty much completely lost my voice. And so now I am getting it back. But off and on, the whole month of October, I was not well. So it was a rough month. But yes, there were happy pockets of sunshine and feeling good in October, but they were punctuated with lots of recovery in between. So that is why this episode is so late in coming to you. And I am thrilled to be feeling as good as I do and up and about and happy to podcast today. And I've missed chatting with you guys. I got some really sweet comments on Ravelry and Instagram for people just asking how I was since I hadn't been as active on YouTube, and it was so sweet. And so thank you so much for reaching out and saying that you missed the podcast and that you were caring about how I was doing. It's just more evidence of how wonderful the online knitting community and fiber community in general is. So thank you guys so much, and I'm happy to be back and sharing with you today. So that's kind of where I've been. In those happy pockets of feeling good in October, in between being sick, I got some exciting work done. I finished writing up my pattern for the palindrome shawl and playful palindrome shawl, and it's really simple. It is a free PDF that I am sending out to all my email subscribers this weekend. So hopefully tonight I'm hitting send, and this podcast is coming out on November 5th. So if it is past November 5th and you are an email subscriber and you don't see a PDF pattern, please email me through my website and let me know, and I want to make sure that pattern does get to you. If you wanted to be a subscriber that gets my seasonal newsletter as well as update information kind of quarterly about my Etsy shop and just things that I'm up to, then you can sign up on knitsong.com, and that will be sent to you as a thank you. It's more of a recipe than an intricate pattern. It's a very simple triangle shawl, but it's a fun one. So I hope you like it if you are getting that. And yeah, so I got that done, which was exciting. I mentioned it last time on my podcast, and right before one of the last things that I had to do last month with the shawl pattern was I needed to take photographs of it. So my husband and I had an awesome day. We went up to Sundance, Utah, and in the mountains, and he took pictures of the shawl, and I kind of displayed it as best I could. but we just had a great time up there in the mountains, and I think I mentioned that last time, and so we got all the pictures kind of figured out, and then I was able to use some of those pictures in the pattern. So yeah, so it was fun having some collaboration and having him help me with that. And yeah, so that was the pattern project. As well as this month I shipped out my first yarn club. Yay! So I am so excited. It was really fun. I did a Christmas at Downton Abbey yarn club, and I did a 2 skein, coordinating colors with a stitch marker, and it was inspired by one of my favorite scenes in one of my favorite Christmas episodes. And it was super personal for me as far as the scene that I picked, and I will probably talk more about that next episode, because then all of the people that ordered it will have already received it and I can show it then. But still, it's secret because it will be arriving probably by Friday to all the different locations that it's going. So if you were part of that yarn club, check your mailbox this week. It should be there in between Monday and Friday. And they're on their way, so that was exciting. So lots of good and big things happened for me in October. I just got sick in between all of it. So I apologize if you can still hear my voice being a little raspy / nasal. It's been a slow recovery, so yes. So that's kind of the news of what I've been up to. I will get to the yarny knitting part of the podcast in the next moment or two. But yeah, that is kind of what October has had. I haven't posted much new stuff in the yarn shop on Etsy, and today I'm going to add in some things that I'll show some of today too. So I will have a shop update-ish section at the end of the podcast too. So anyway, let's get talking about yarn. Today I'm sipping tea, which I've had a lot of this month. This is Bigelow, and it's Constant Comment. It's just normal grocery store tea, but this one is so good. My grandma on my dad's side, this was her favorite tea. It's probably still is, but 10 years ago or so, she always used to have it stocked in her cabinet, and so whenever I would go see her, this was always the tea that we have. So Gran, I'm always thinking of you when I have Constant Comment. Okay, so I'll start with what I'm wearing. Today I'm wearing my mermaid shawl that I designed, and it is in my mermaid tail colorway. I'll get a little closer. It's a very gray day here today in Utah, and the light is just really white and gray, and so this green is really like washing. It's just, there's an interesting color effect happening in the room today. So yes, so this was knit with my mermaid tail colorway and my Siren song colorway at the end for the ribbing section. And I've had some requests for me to write this pattern up. This one would take a little bit longer, and I would definitely need test knitting and things like that, so I'm not sure if or when that's going to happen. I would like to, but just trying to keep up with all the other things, I'm not sure that I'm ready to commit to that yet, but it's a possibility. So if you'd be interested in a pattern, a write-up of this, let me know in the description box below, and if there's a lot of demand for it, maybe I should prioritize that. So anyway, that is what I'm wearing today. The first work in progress I'm going to show you is my second Reyna shawl. Now, I showed this last time, but it's actually grown since, which I'm super excited about. This is in Malabrigo, worsted weight, and Chispas is the colorway. And I really can't wait to finish this because I'm enjoying the process of this knit, but I can't wait to have this to wear. I've mentioned how excited I am to have this in my closet as a ready piece to wear, and I can't wait. So it's a beautiful Malabrigo colorway. I love it. And you can see how it's really, it's, I'd say, in between tonal and variegated, because you get a lot of different colors, but they're all in the same family, so it's really a really beautiful subtle effect that you get. This is the Reyna pattern on Ravelry. It is for free. It's by Noora Laivola, I believe. I'll put it in the description box. It's for a fingering weight yarn, but I've actually done it twice on worsted, and I love it. It's really fast. Whenever I work on it, I make big progress quickly, and yes. So I'm not knitting on very long needles, so it's kind of hard for me to stretch it out and show you. But here's what is coming. Dee-dee. Ta-da, ta-doo. Anyway, yes. So that is the Reyna shawl, and I will show you the runaway yarn ball that I have of it. You can see some of those gorgeous colors. It just looks like, to me, it reminds me of all the colors of bark, like in Muir Woods, or I don't know. Just lots of happy neutral browns that are just so pretty. Or like a mulchy path that's been soaked by rain. It just reminds me of taking a walk in Muir Woods. If you ever are in or near San Francisco, go to Muir Woods. It is so worth it. It's beautiful. Anyway, this is hopefully going to be a finished object next podcast, which will probably, hopefully, be much sooner than the last one was from this one. So, good stuff coming here. The next thing I want to show is my Flax sweater by Tin Can Knits. It's a great pattern. I'm loving this. I'm knitting this on my own hand-dyed yarn, and it is in the Glacier colorway. Here is a picture of the finished sweater in the pattern. It is beautiful, really well-written pattern, super fun to knit. And last time I showed this, it was just a collar, and so now it's more than just a collar. It's getting closer to being the whole yoke section. So here is what I've got. Now it is in fingering weight. I'm doing this on 3.5 millimeter Chowgu needles. And I'm loving how my Glacier colorway is knitting up. And I'm just enjoying this knit. It's really easy to follow the directions. It's really a lot of stockinette, which is great. I'm just enjoying it. I'm looking forward to having this. I think I am going to fade it, or at least maybe just stripe it. I don't know. I don't know exactly how I'm going to work these color changes in. But I am going to continue with my Siren Song colorway. So this will be the next color. And I don't have any more of this to put in the shop soon, but I'm going to dye this up again. This will be repeatable. And same with Glacier. I need to dye some more of these because those sold out quickly when I put them up. And I love them. And then the third and final color is going to be I finally named it thanks to a kind viewer, Crushed Blueberries. Ha! I can't remember who was it who said that? If it was you, congrats and thank you for helping me name this color. It's like this blue purple. Oh, and I love it. It's got lots of different layers. I had so much fun with this one. But these are going to be the three colors of my shawl, and I'm not sure how I'm going to transition from one to the next. It's going to be kind of a playful experiment, which is kind of my style. I like to experiment and I like to play. So we shall see what happens with these three. Yeah. Those are my only works in progress. Like I said, I was sick a lot this month, and the first thing I got, it was the kind of thing where you just can't even knit. Like, everything ached. I just had to lay there. And so that was a really boring one. Now, here's the bright spot in all of this. When I got the first thing that knocked me down, it was during Rhinebeck, which means that I had, it was during right at the end of Rhinebeck, I think. Or was that the second thing I got? It was a blur of a month. But basically, it was awesome because I was laying there and I had so much beautiful footage to watch of everybody who went to Rhinebeck. Now, October, I might even title this episode Dreams of Rhinebeck, because I really want to go. Hopefully next year, but probably more likely, if I made a plan and saved up a little bit, I could plan to maybe make that a definite thing in 2 years. But who knows, maybe even next year. Oh, but I just had so much fun imagining what it would be like, and I had so much help because a lot of my favorite YouTubers and bloggers were all there, so it was a lot of fun. Yes, I watched Christy Glass. A lot of her coverage was fabulous, and all of it was wonderful, but I watched a lot of it. She interviewed the grocery girls and the ladies from Espace Tricot, and she just did some cool touring like stuff. I watched Mina Phillips of the Knitting Expat, her vlog. My wonderful, beautiful friends, Christy and Tristan went from the Girls in the Yarn Cafe podcast, and it was so fun to hear their podcast and hear them talk about it and see their posts on Instagram, and I can't wait to see them again in person and pick their brains about what it was like. So it was just a really wonderful time to get sick, as weird as that sounds, because I had so much fun footage to watch. So while I was laying there, I was not feeling good physically, but in my mind I was happy and at Rhinebeck and just soaking in all the gorgeous fall colors, and it just looks like a gorgeous town. And oh my goodness, I so want to go if there's another Needles Up event. That looked like an amazing success because Chelsea and Sue are amazing, and Audrey, Sue knits as well, Andy. Anyway, that just looked amazing. So hopefully I can get my planning self together and plan to go next year, because that was amazing. Like I think I actually dreamed about it this month. You know how you have like, I don't know if you do, but I have even more detailed dreams when I'm sick, and I think that's because they say that you remember dreams more when you wake up in the middle of them, and when you're sick and you wake yourself up coughing, maybe you remember, you're just cued into a lot of your dreams. But I think I was even dreaming about being at Rhinebeck because I was watching so much footage, and that was a lot of fun. So I was there in spirit. Yeah. So anyway, that's my little experience with dreaming of Rhinebeck this year. I used to have family that lived near there, and they have recently moved back to California. So now, if I went out there, I really don't know anyone anymore. So that was always what got me out to New York in the past. So anyway, we'll see. Stay tuned for 12 months and see if I end up going and vlogging next year. Yeah, so that was all the knitting that I really did. I have been so itching to work on my crochet granny stripe blanket. I mentioned and showed some of my fingering weight minis that I want to dye, that I want to yarn, no, I want to crochet with on that blanket, and I just haven't started. So hopefully next time I'll have more to show on that, because I love that project, especially in fall. It's getting colder. There's something very like Christmassy or fall-y about the granny stripe blanket to me. So hopefully I'll get that out soon. I have no sewing segment. This room that I'm in is the coldest room in our house, and so when I'm sick I don't spend any time in the sewing room because I have to really bundle up just to stay warm in here normally. So when I'm sick especially, it's just not the place where I hang out. But although I couldn't even really sit upright for a lot of it, so that's another reason. But I do have some up and coming sewing plans that I'm hopeful to share soon. Yes, so I will move on to dyeing, yarn dyeing, what I have dyed up this month. In those pockets of sunny, happy, feeling healthy times, I got up and got all my stuff out and had some fun dyeing. I dyed all the Christmas at Downton Abbey Club yarn, and that was really fun towards the beginning of the month. And I can't show any of that, of course, because it's secret and special. And hopefully I'll show it next podcast once it's already passed and its owners have opened it and are hopefully already enjoying it. But I will show you what I have been dyeing. What do I start with? I'm going to start with some of the crazy stuff. Okay, so this is, I think, my favorite of what I've dyed this month. And this is called Autumn Crush. And it's just kind of inspired by the feelings of being back at school and as a teacher, just watching my students kind of just be exuberant about life. It just totally seemed like the autumn mood was, you know, definitely seeping in. And yeah, Autumn Crush just sounded like a fun name. And this is just quite vibrant. It has a lot of warm colors and cool colors. So it's kind of a fun mix. But I really enjoyed dyeing this, and I think I will be dyeing more of this in the future. This is on a worsted, my worsted base. Oh, and I'm in the process of naming my bases. So I've been switching around some of my bases and playing with different ones, and I think I've settled on some standards. And as my Etsy shop is KnitSongYarns, my bases are going to be named after song types. So I'm really excited, and hopefully I can announce those next podcast. Or if you go to the yarn shop, you'll probably see them on there starting this weekend forward. So yes, exciting things. So this is worsted, and that name will be, oh, it's so squishy. That name will be released soon. But the name of the colorway is Autumn Crush. This is on 75% merino and 25% wool. I mean 25% nylon. Ay, I love this color. Okay, another similar colorway that I dyed. It's super similar, but a little bit different. This one has a lot more of a warm orangey feel to it. And this one is Moonlit, Pumpkin Patch Moonlit Walk. I can't remember what I named it. Moonlit Walk in a Pumpkin Patch. It's a long name. But basically, it was just inspired by walking around a pumpkin patch at night. And it's mostly oranges, blues, purples, and some of those other colors. But overall, it's a lot more orangey and dark. Okay, another thing that I dyed. Just having fun with different techniques. This is the craziest skein of yarn I think I've ever dyed, but I really like it. And I named it Monet's Garden because it completely reminds me of all the colors you would see in Giverny, which is Monet's Garden, especially if you look at his paintings of the footbridge. There are lots of rich greens, purples, and blues, and yes. So I cannot wait to knit with this and see what this looks like knit up, because it is just so fun. And I will have a little bit of this in the shop. So I'm excited about it. I almost like it better. Like, I like looking at it, like, not even skeined. Like, I just think that's really pretty. So this is just a different technique, and I was just doing crazy things and just having fun, and I enjoyed that. So that is Monet's Garden, and I've always been a big Monet fan. This summer I got to go to San Francisco and I got to do a trip to the Palace of the Legion of Honor, and they had an amazing Monet exhibit. It had like, multiple pieces from every era of his life that he painted in chronological order. Oh, it was gorgeous. It was so beautiful. This I showed last time. This is Sweetgrass. That's also will be in the shop. This one is not to be named yet. It hasn't been named, but I will put this in the shop. There'll be 2 of them. I still have 1 cookies and cream and 1 raspberry zebra cake. Oh, and another new colorway. This one, I'll have 2 of these in the shop, I think. Yeah, this one is called Naptime Dreams, and I dyed this up on a Saturday afternoon, and while it was drying, I took a nap and had all kinds of happy dreams. And then I woke up and I was like, that looks like nap time dreams. So that's what that is. And this is on an MCN base. And it's beautiful and soft, and I just love it. So there she is. It's got some little confetti colors and things like that. So that's pretty. There's another one of them right there. But it's so dark in here. I apologize. Anyway, I think that's all that I have to show, that I can show. But that's kind of what I've been doing and what I've been dyeing up and working on. And that is really all I have to show. I have, I think, about 5 or 6 listings that I'm going to put up in the shop this afternoon. So if you're interested, you can head on over. If not, no worries. It's just fun to look at people's yarns sometime, even if you're not in the market. So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. In general, random update style at the end of a podcast, I could share something fun that we did. As many people in the world are, my husband and I are big Stranger Things fans. It's such a great show. We enjoy it so much. And we had a Stranger Things party for like a few days before Halloween when it came out. And it was really fun. We had some of our friends over that also enjoy the show. And that was a highlight of my month. It was great. I was feeling really healthy then, and it was just a really great time. We kind of had said that you could dress up with an 80s inspired outfit if you wanted, but no pressure. And it was a Friday night, and we were all really tired. And so I think I was the only one who had anything 80s, and it was totally fine because we were just all wiped out. But I did, you know, wear some high-waisted pants and then tuck in a collared shirt with the sleeves not rolled up as we do now, but, you know, definitely like tightly cinched at the wrists. And I had just a you know, kind of an 80s style belt on with my pants. And I'm telling you, like 30 minutes into the party, I was like, I can't do a high-waisted belt. It's just, I'm not used to wearing things in my natural waist, especially a heavy leather belt, so I couldn't even make it through the party. And since it was at our house, I got to run upstairs and change. So, but we had a great time watching the show into the evening, and afterwards, Alex and I were like, oh my gosh, how did we didn't think of any themed snacks. And then afterwards, I went shopping a few days after and bought some waffles. I love Kodiak waffles. If you have ever seen them or have those in your shop, they're like protein full of protein, and they're like made from whole grains, and they're really good. And then we were thinking of one of the characters who loves Eggo waffles, and we were like, oh my gosh, we should have had a waffle party. What were we thinking? So we missed that opportunity, but we sure had a great time watching it. If you're a fan of the show and haven't watched season 2 yet, you probably have, but do it. It's really good. We enjoyed it a lot. So anyway, I think that was pretty much all of my October. So hopefully in the next few weeks, you'll hear from me multiple times, and we'll have some hopeful good news about maybe future clubs or just fun projects and patterns that I might be up to. So anyway, I hope you're having a good early November. Can't believe it's already November, but it is, so woohoo, here we go. And I hope you have a really great week and get some fun crafting done and enjoy being inspired by the season and all kinds of different other stuff. And I hope you have a really great week. So thank you for tuning in, and yeah, I hope you have a great week. All right, bye.